Hello, here's my vlog, living in Boulder vlog for June 4th. I haven't done one for a couple weeks because I started doing the training for a mountain bike guide, and then I didn't make the cut. I got dropped, and then I was kind of like just hanging around trying to reprogram, and then I got a job as a like a home health care aide over at Brookdale South. So they're gonna, I guess, start work next week after they get done with the background check, which is only supposed to take 2 to 3 business days. I talked to him on Monday, so it's Wednesday now. I lost 2 of my birds. I had 4 birds, and like a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago, on like Sunday, my mom, they were like tweeting like crazy, like when the day that sun storm came, the birds were tweeting like crazy, and my mom said, you better close the door. I had that. When I put that screen in, I didn't put the lock because it was before I got the ferrets. And then I got the ferrets and they can open the screen. So I put that door there, but the problem is now it's open there. But I thought the birds would never fly away, but the day they were freaking out on the solar storm, 2 of them flew out. 2 new ones. These are the 2 older ones, so it's a bummer. So they're $40 each. So I've had those maybe 4 years, and the other ones for like a year. So at least now I know that can happen. I did see him smack into the mirror a couple of times. One time really hard. So yeah, maybe they do get confused and they just fly that way. And if they fly that way, yeah, I don't think they know how to get back. Maybe they don't even have the strength. If they land on the floor and then they have to get up and they don't remember where, and so that's a bummer. Hope they got hunted or something, didn't die quickly, slowly, but anyway, so I think I remember putting the lock somewhere around here, the latch, so one of my Tupperware, so I'll look around and see if I can put a new latch there or figure out a way. Yeah, I should oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. With zip ties, you can fix anything with zip ties. Figure out a way to like screw in a screw with the drill and then screw it in, and then do a zip tie around the screw. I just came up with that now. And then another zip tie around it, and then the zip tie around the hook. That could be a screw, or maybe I have some hooks around here to screw in. I do. Yeah, and then just do the zip tie, and then that'll close it. Right. And then I can throw that door away, and I don't have to worry about the ferrets opening the door, and then I don't have to worry about the birds flying away. Oh, man. It's a bummer I had to lose 2 birds and $80. I also lost $85. I ordered a couple weeks ago. A week ago, I ordered a sand skink for that 20-gallon cage, and it never came, so it got lost in the mail, so that's a bummer. It was from a business, the only business I could find that could order it, but they were like a D- on the Better Business Bureau because people complained that their animals arrived dead or sick or dying, and mine never came, so I just called Petco Longmont, and he was going to get back with me. Oh no, I should have. Oh, that was probably him. Oh man, I hope he left a message. He was going to call back and see if they could find him. I have a job. Knock on wood. I should pass the background check. It's not like I did anything. But I went to another interview last year at this place in Longmont, and they decided not to hire me after a background check. But they never had me sign the paperwork. I already signed the paperwork, so I'm super jazzed. When I talked to her, she said the job was like, she listed 3 things, and she gave me a piece of paper that had responsibilities I didn't really look through, but what she mentioned was remind the people to take their meds, take their dogs on walks, and change sheets. And I'm like, that's all? Oh my God. Easiest job ever. I'm in the mood for an easy job. I did a bike ride to the place this morning because it's a bike path the whole way, and I wanted to do like a distance bike ride because I've got all these new bikes and I wanted to do at least one ride with each, real ride with each bike. And I was doing like mountain bike riding with it around the course and up and down like a month ago on the Boulder Bike Park, the Valmont Bike Park, but I wanted to do an actual like commute ride where I don't pedal at all. I just own it like a motorcycle. And yeah, I went to Brookdale just to see what the commute would be like in case I wanted to, because maybe if it's like like a hot day and I don't want to like risk being too sweaty when I get there or something. I don't know, or I don't feel good, or it's the winter and I don't want to ride on the road. Because I also wanted to ride. I have these like stud tires that would fit that bike, 26 inch. I actually just thought of it now. I was going to put on another bike that I got over at the used sports place. These like, yeah, like really new, like studded metal studded tires. I should put them on the electric mountain bike because those are actually super safe on snow, because those electric bikes, because you can have your leg out the entire time you're riding. Like you don't have to, like, if you slip, then suddenly unclip and then put your leg out. Your legs can already be like sticking way out. So you could be sliding all over the place. And yeah, and if you have metal studs on them, and they also plow the bike path in the wintertime, like that'd be an awesome way to get to work in the wintertime. Just do your electric. And yeah, it had like 3 bars when I came back, so I think it could go there and back twice. And in the wintertime when it's bad on the battery, yeah, maybe it could do it once, even on a cold day. So that'd be cool to not have to use my car. I did actually the first Strava ride with it. It was 36 minutes to get here to there and to my mom's house, which is almost back. But I had to wait at the light at Arapahoe both ways. They didn't have the tunnel, so it would have been faster. So it's like 15 minutes there. So it's awesome. And then the other building is literally right here. It's the next building over. Ooh. It's that building with the red roof. There's 3 sites. There's the one I'm gonna work at in the beginning, one on like Pearl or something, Boulder Creek, and then there's that one. So I could work there later. And then I told her that I'm gonna be getting CNA this fall, certified nurse assistant, and she said, "Oh, you get more money for that, so maybe I could get a job doing that there." And then a job doing CNA at this building next to where I live. That would be so amazing. So, but anyway, so yeah, but I'm not motivated to do anything. But I'm doing my vlog now. I need to get exercise again. My knees start to hurt again, but I'm just like, I don't have motivated to do anything until I'm actually working. And my mom was really stressed out about that too. So, so I'm just like relaxing, waiting, like enjoying my vacation. I've been hanging out here with my animals. I have all these new animals, and I wanted to make sure that I just wanted to watch them and know exactly how much food they all need, and eat their pace of eating. I just went into the store. I'm a super convenient place to live if I want a bunch of animals, because right next to the Safeway, across the street is a reptile store, so I go in there and get bugs. And for $3, I got a bunch of bugs that I think would feed my like my green anole, Bahamian anole, long-tailed lizard, Terry's tree frog, and Pac-Man frog, and 3 praying mantises and tarantula. And so, yeah, I just go, yeah, for $3 every few days. So that's awesome, you know. And I watched my little Bahama animal eat a cricket. So when I first bought them, they were like, yeah, get them pinhead, but pinheads are so small. And then, but no, they take the 3/8, I think he called them. So that's awesome. So, and I got a bunch for the first time because I wasn't really feeding my Savannah monitor enough, but I ordered some dubia roaches, and I got like an 1/8 pound or something. So after I get the job and I feel like I can spend money, I want to get like the big amount, so that when I'd only have to spend like the $15 or whatever it is, $20 in shipping one time, and just get a huge bunch of them, and maybe a breeding kit, because I have all those on the top, 13 of them, and I also try to breed the worms. But I threw a bunch of them in there, and I watched my this guy, my bearded dragon, eat them. I also have another big cage for the bearded dragon up there, but yeah, and I didn't actually watch the Terry's tree frog eat anything, but I saw there was a dubia roach, as long as the dubia roach isn't longer than the space between their eyes, and I did have some that were fit, so yeah. And then hopefully the Pac-Man frog isn't dying. They said that they stay underground for like up to 2 weeks, and so I think that's what mine did. I saw mine wiggling around in there, but I got the fancy one. It's super colorful, but yeah, I'm bummed that the sand skink didn't. Maybe he left a message, didn't come, and I feel bad. Maybe it's dying. I need to go and get the number and call it. Maybe I think it was just a scam, so I won't get that online again. That's a bummer. I lost that money, but I just called Petco Boulder, and they have a hermit crabs for $11, and because I'm trying to fill up all my animal cages. And that's where I'm going to put my hermit crab. That's where I'm going to put the sand skink. But yeah, I want to get all of them. I have those 2 with the frogs in them, and oh man, they had this really big centipede in there when I went in to get the crickets earlier today, and it was like $160 or something. The thing was huge. It was like 8 inches. I was like, oh my god, the thing's so trippy. But it needs 20 gallons, but a sand skink would be trippier. But yeah, I also want to get an axolotl and then some frogs there. But I should ask him at Home Petco. So I was thinking about doing it. I'm gonna watch Hermit Crab Care, and because I think they eat the same thing. It could just be another one of the animals that I dump in the crickets every few days, you know, and then it's like not even trouble. But yeah, I gave my tarantula 3 little dubia roaches yesterday, and I saw it kill one of them. It struck one, and it looked like it just died. And then it kind of ate it. I ate on it, had it in its mouth, and I saw that its belly was really big. But yeah, maybe I can get the hermit crab. I can watch it and get the confidence and set up the cage and everything, have it ready, and get the hermit crab today. That'd be cool. And if you're supposed to get 2, I'll get 2 for just as a celebration for get the job, you know, just so they're gonna have like friends. But that's only a 5-galloner or a 10-galloner. Those are 20 and then 10, yeah. So, and then I have a vertical for half-gallon that I think I can use for a jumping spider, but those are kind of expensive. So if I had to remember it, I might have gotten it though, because I'm happy about getting the job. Just that I'm not actually working yet. That's why I got all these animals. It was a celebration for getting the other job. So, I really like the little lizards I have. They look like little people, little miniature lizards with these hair. But I threw a bunch of the dubia roaches in there for my Savannah monitor, and I was sitting with them today. The best way to tame them is to just, you know, not get too intrusive. So I just I just watch him sit there, and then I open the cage and took photos of him. And as soon as he like runs away, I leave, you know. Last time I grabbed him, I had him in between my hand, but he was like getting bigger and aggressive and like turning around and trying to bite me, and I got really aggressive and tried to bite me the first time. Like I thought maybe he'd get me, so I threw him in. So I was like, dang, is that thing getting too big? So yeah, I mean, if it gets, you see people with them that are tame, and the coolest thing ever would be having a tame freaking monitor. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to sit with them whenever I see them up there. I have the light on all the time because the switch is getting bad, and I don't want to turn it off and turn it on and kill it. So I just have it on all the time, and he hangs out underground all the time under the heat mat. Maybe that's why he's not getting big. But I don't think they need as much UV. I haven't replaced the UV, even though it still shines, because they say it loses its UV after a year. So I'm going to try to throw a bunch of like the vitamins and vitamin D in with all of the dubia roaches and crickets when I throw them in there. I've just been forgetting, so I'm like trying to remember really hard now because I have all these animals. So, but yeah, to get the two other lizards in there, or the two other animals, and the four up there would be really cool. And then all I have left is, well, I have the fish in the hallway I can do, but all I'd have left for animals would be the axolotl, and I filled that with water because I want to get around to testing, like keeping the water good for when it comes, and then the frogs over there. So yeah, but today, right now, after I do this, because I just had the idea, I don't know why it took me so long. I'm gonna put the hook for the screen there. So anyway, so I'm going to try to. I have my energy drink. It's good I have it to do the video. So after I lost the mountain bike job, I was like sitting around like, oh fuck, like I need a job right away. But it kind of opened up new kind of. I had to kind of sit around and calibrate, and I bought weed. Even though I quit for like a month and a half, I'll quit again when I start the new job. But just to sit around and see what I could do, like what these different. I do want to ride. I can still ride this summer, as soon as I get around to it, like after I get in with the job. But then I suddenly was like, realized I was like, oh man, I could do my boulder run, because just doing the biking, I was going to be too tired, because I was going to ride after work every day and I wasn't going to accomplish anything. And I was like going to give up basically on my timeline. I was going to put the ice ages of the timeline onto my ancient history timeline, and then take the test, and then that would make it so I took all the tests, and then I could ask for sponsorship for my project. But I was thinking, I was like, damn, that seems like a lot of work, because there's 118 different eons, epochs, and like ages, and I wanted to do well in the test. I wanted to actually learn, because that's like one of the most interesting things you can learn is ancient history. But my brain just wasn't there. It seemed kind of like it would take a long time, and I just wasn't into it. And all of a sudden I was like, why not just do boulder run? That would be more like challenging and more interesting. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to try to do boulder run. So after I get set up, I got the idea because I typed my name on ChatGPT. It's like, just to see what it would say, and they're like, oh, Kyle Pounds, and he has a boulder roam musical. I'm like, oh man, ChatGPT read that like on my site. I need to do that. That's the coolest thing. So yeah, after I get settled in, hopefully I get the job as the home health care aide, and I love the commute. You know, and I do that for a week, and I get into it, you know, and I get motivated to start doing my life. They said it was 30 hours a week, so I'm going to come back and do the things I need to do to get the Boulder Rome historical drama going. It's going to be 20 years to cover 1,000 years. But I'm going to do the first part from the founding of Alba Longa or the founding of the end of the Trojan War to the founding of Rome. Was that like 400 years or something? Every 10 days is every day is 10 years, is a decade, and so that would be 45 days. So a month and a half of warm up for that. So I need to figure out what like a decade is, all the different evolution of time, which I haven't really thought about. I have a Boulder Rome page on my website, so I was looking at it. I need to catch up on that. My timeline for Rome, Livy for the actual dates of everything, because I didn't do that for all of it. I always think that I did it for all of it, and I need to finish that and just get it ready. And then, I figured out what my show will be. I haven't figured out, because I'm going to react it. I haven't figured out, like, for the every day is a decade. Because there's lots of things you can do, like accents. You got to have that accent switch evolve after every generation or whatever, and a couple of generations. You know how they used to say where, and now they just say where. In America, my dad would say where. He was born in 28. Yeah, maybe other things. Fashion. To do a fashion thing somehow to illustrate that would be interesting. Stuff you couldn't do once I get going on Rome. But once I get started on Rome, every day is 50 days. And so that's why it'll take 1,000 years. I mean, 20 years to cover 1,000 years. But I wanted to because there's so much history. And so the idea that I had was, so like, because I hadn't even really thought about it. So I was sitting around like smoking weed, thinking about it. And so yeah, so I'm walking. So I Googled Earth Boulder and Boulder. I have three things to Google. So it's Boulder, Boulder, Rome, and Rome. And so the idea is that I turn my historical drama into the visions that I have of Boulder, Rome, and Boulder, Rome, Boulder, Rome, and Boulder, Rome, Boulder, Rome, Boulder, and Rome, Boulder, Rome, Rome, and Boulder. Those three places. And so, because I Google Earth all of it, and so I wanted to compare them all to have people be able to visualize Rome from Boulder, and also to compare like time and space. I have all of that. And so here's how the plan that I had. So right, I'm walking around Rome, and I'm in Boulder here, and I look down, I see a ring, and I have a ring up there that I can use anyway. And maybe I could get like a LED ring. That would be cool. But I got a glowing ring. Don't know exactly where it is, but and I pick it up and I put it on, and then I'm like, whoa! And so the idea, and I'll have like a narrator who will be me, and I'll have it like on the screen, and so I'll film everything with me and put like green screen background, put a green screen up on my bedroom. I think I'll do that today too. Set all that up. Try to set it all up as much as I can. Take advantage of not having a roommate. And now that I have a job, I was actually, and I think that now, like seriously not getting a roommate, because that'll make it so that I could just permanently use that room as a green screen room and never have to take the green screen down or take the bed out and the end and everything. And yeah, so I'm here in Boulder, and yeah, and I put it on, and so the story is and I would read it as the narrator. I play the part as a narrator, so I would read it with like the words in the background or something. I do have a studio that I'll hook up later when I get around to it to make it more fancy, but I like the idea of starting it super basic, like not even with the green screen. Maybe the 45 days just with those trees in the background or whatever. But yeah, it'll be interesting because it'll maximize all of my creativity. You know, like music. I've got all these instruments I can do: song, dance, the humming. I do humming, and I can do the different songs, and I can create songs from my humming because it seems like I have lots of good songs from that. And then the historical narration, me narrating it, acting it out, acting all the different characters. And then yeah, the ideas. So and then you helping doing that with Google Earth. So. So the ring is the ring of Gyges, and that's the one where in Lydia he put it on, and it would make him he was the king of Lydia, and the other king is Croesus, but we don't know when Gyges lived, maybe a long time ago, and so maybe he would lived in one of these ancient capitals of like the ancient Atlanteans or something, or the ancient giants, and because the story is he was walking around, fell into a tomb of a giant, put on the ring, and then the ring made him invisible. I think that's where J.R.R. Tolkien got the idea of a Lord of the Rings ring. It like makes him invisible and stuff. And anyway, so my story is I put it on, so now it's more powerful because it's older, and then I can travel back into the ancient Rome. And so I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I spin around, right? And I'm like, where am I? And like I have an Apple smartwatch, and like on my Apple smartwatch has already installed the Ring of Gyges app. So I'm like, where am I? And the watch goes, you're in a 753 BC, and I'm like, oh my god, in Rome, in Italy, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the founding of Rome. I need to go find Romulus, and I guess with the app that I have, it makes it so that I can talk to him, like we naturally speak the same language. They do that in movies all the time. So I'm like, hey, Romulus, I'm from the future, and then so I make him his right hand man, and then so as I'm Rome, so then they show where I am in Rome. And so I get the job as the seer. And so that's I'm the seer because I'm having visions of Boulder and of Boulder, Rome. Along with Rome, which is like magically a sister city of Rome because of all the similarities. And it's some kind of like magical thing that the Ring of Gyges can set up that way because of all those similarities. And so I'm always traveling back and forth. So I'm the seer because I'm seeing back and forth, but I'm also the seer because I'm the guy he sends. I'm also the scout. So I'm sent out to see what's going on, what he's interested in. And so that gives me the excuse to ride my bike every day because I want to ride all the time. And so every time I ride, I would include that, the Strava and everything of it into my Boulder Roam. So I'd show in Boulder where I go, where Rome where I go, and Boulder Roam where I go. And so the idea is that I'm like, it's kind of like the parallel universe idea, like your past lives or parallel lives having the same time parallel universes. So I'm like, and also when you dream, like I have dreams of like places that really exist, like Boulder, and they're always bigger than in real life. So it's like a parallel universe of the same place. And so that's kind of like the show being like that. And so like I'm like the same person having dreams of these other worlds that I'm living in, maybe. And so yeah, I would like, I go, hey, I think I'm from the future. And he's like, why? It's because I'm here now and I put on this ring. And so I can become like his advisor. And so I'm like his spiritual advisor. And so that's where all the ideas of the spirituality of Rome come from. Because Rome is like both a warrior and a spirit. So like when I go to like that's where they have all the the Pope and the temple of the Vestal Virgins and the Temple of Peace and everything. And their second king was mainly a spiritual priest, and they were staggering like the warrior king and the spiritual leader king for a few times in the beginning of Rome. So and they had Pontifex Maximus. So I'll be like the Pontifex Maximus, and so I'm like, so I advise him. So like in the show, one of the things I have to learn for the technical is to like be able to put two of me on the same screen. And so the idea is that I'm here talking as Romulus, and I'm dressed like Romulus, and then there's me as and I'm not supposed to be Romulus, I'm just acting Romulus, but then there's me, who I'm the spiritual guy. And so when Romulus is talking, I'll be like this, like, and then when Romulus is done talking, I'm like, man, Romulus, I had the craziest dream of like being in another town that was just like Rome. And then I'll show, and that's when I cut to the dream. And then I'll show Boulder, Rome, on top of Rome, and showing it how it's the same. And then Boulder on top of Rome. So it's three of them. So I do Boulder. And I'm like, yeah, because I had a dream. I'm pretty sure I'm from the future. Yeah, I'm telling you I'm from the future. And then I show where I'm from the future and where I went in the future. And then I show Boulder, Rome, of where I went in Boulder, Rome. And then I show in Rome where I went in Rome with Romulus, the three. And so that's why, like, whenever Romulus is talking, I'm like tripping out. I'm like, ah. And then I wake up when he stops talking, and then I tell him. And then I tell him what I think about the situation, because I'm like his advisor too. And then I go off on the thing. So, yeah. So, and then I can use that information when I go between the different Google Earth places that I can explain. Then the narrator me comes in and explains like the size and the time and everything of all of it and how it compares. I built in Google Earth, not just Boulder Roam, but I made nature, so I can do that. I can show it with nature, and then and then like when I predict the future when I'm in Rome, I can talk about what really happened. Anyway, so that's so far what I thought of. So I have to do catch up on my website here for the page of it. So I have to take my time because I want to be riding my bike a lot too, get in the habit of that. I didn't completely get in the habit of that after I work. So, but I like to do it pretty soon, because the sooner I get started, then it'll take forever. So I wanted to finish it, and if I wanted to do 2,000 years, that would take 40 years. I'd be like 91. If I want to take it up to 1247 AD, because I think 1,000 years after 753 is 247. They had like their big 1,000-year jubilee. I think when they saw the first augurs, they say that when they founded Rome, they said Rome would only last 1,200 years because that's how many like eagles they saw. I think that was in Decline and Fall, but by Edward Gibbon, but which means that and it fell about that year longer. That would have been 427 right when they fall. So they were right. which is amazing. Yeah, and especially if I don't know if there was documentation of somebody saying that before that, but yeah, I wanted to yeah, like the more simple I am, and the first, if I can do it by every 10 years, then that'll get me into the habit, and then I won't have to feel like a perfectionist because that'll make it so I never do it. So, and then you just because it'll be for every day for someone along. It'll be like something that I gradually get more and more like technical with, and then I would start to think all crazy. Like I'm working at the old person's home. I'm gonna bring it up to the boss when I get there, but I'll be like, that'd be cool to use the old people over there at all the home people's homes as actors in my show. Because I could film them and I could be like, say this. I could tell them what the story is and I'd be like, you're acting this part. Say this. And so that'd be funny to have really old people, like 95-year-old people at the old person home being like, I am the warrior and I will take you, German, upon the single combat on the bridge. Tell the old person to say, I challenge you, German, for single combat on the old bridge, and then I put the background on them, and then you just do a bunch of them acting like that. That would be funny, but I don't know how simple that is. I'll bring it up, but otherwise, I have all these different costumes to dress. I have a Jesus costume I'll dress as Pontifex Maximus. I have a Roman soldier dress to be the king. I have some other dress. I have a tunic to be like Roman peasant or whatever, and some other dresses. And I have the old man, like the old long hair and the beard for the narrator. So another part of my show is at the beginning. I'm gonna eventually. I want to narrate the entire book. It's like 3,000 pages, and after I do Boulder Room the show, or as I do it, I can splice out the bits that I read, and I can actually turn that into a book, into a big like YouTube video for me just narrating the book, the whole thing. But like I would stand there and in the background with the words on the TV. No. I would stand there reading the words on the TV and then have the screen, the video camera looking at me. And so it looks like I'm just standing there talking to the audience. And in the background of the green screen would be like me, like in Rome. What in the scene of what's happening in that time. Or over Rome and what Rome looks like on that day. And then I just read it all nice and slowly of what happened. And yeah, every day. And do a daily show, man. And if I pull that off, that'll be like a first of its kind, but that'll be like the coolest, most useful social historical drama ever, So I'm like super fired up to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do that with the other job. With this job, I will. I can think about it like, I know I'm sure you're not allowed to listen to audiobook, but when I'm taking dogs for a walk, I can put like the little thing in my ear and get like freshed up for the next day's show. Listen to the Livy, and so yeah, that's what I'm up to. So I was thinking about. I went into the store and I saw they have like I can't remember what it's called. A little tortoise for $100, and then the Greek tortoise, which lived to 120 years, for $350 over at the store across the street. But and I was thinking seriously about like maybe I could get one, like build a cage right there on the ground with its own light, and then I could have it like free roam across the house and maybe have it work with the ferrets, because the ferrets will sleep a lot. They're asleep now, so I could like plug up the ferrets and let the tortoise out, or maybe the tortoise could learn how to get along with the ferrets, and they can hang out together. Because I had another tortoise before. My roommate made me get rid of him. I had a red tegu and a redfoot tortoise that were best friends in there, and they were both roaming freely throughout the house. That was really cool. And to let another tortoise do that and have a tortoise that'll live that long would be really cool. Because those are like vegetarians and easy to take care of. You just give them like the vegetables that you eat on your own. This little guy needs to eat vegetables, and you get him to give me that's what I was giving to my tegu. Give him a reason for me to buy vegetables for myself. I'm trying to live like more balanced now. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm up to. I've just been hanging out, watching all my animals and trying to become know what their rhythm is, like know how long it takes them to finish eating food and how much food they eat. like, and what kind of food they like. You know, like I think I've been feeding this guy enough because there have been crickets walking around in the cage with him. Same thing with crickets walking around the cage with them. So I think he's eating enough. I was worried maybe I wasn't feeding enough. And then the frogs. But I see crickets and dubia roaches walking around the cage with them. So I think we're good. Yeah, so I probably will once I have the money. I have like a lot of bills. I'm way in debt, so I might be for a while, but I'd like to get I would want to get 2 more birds, maybe even more, and then maybe if I'm crazy enough, the tortoise. But also the sand skink and the crab, the hermit crab. So I have a little Munchkin Russian hamster over there, and he never made it over into there. And if he never does, I'm gonna get another little Munchkin hamster over there. And if they meet in the middle and fight or whatever, maybe they'll figure out how to live on their own separate sides. But next time I get a hamster, if he never goes in there in his whole life, I'll make sure to get a big teddy bear hamster. Those are cheaper too. I mean, those are cuter. But those would be more adventurous, I think. The other one died, got stuck. So you have to make sure to clean out the cage every so often. But then he could go back and forth. Because I like seeing my hamster running back and forth. And I wanted to have the hamster he could run back and forth next to the bearded dragon. Because that's the tunnel for the bearded dragon. They could be next to each other and learn each other. Bearded dragon could go all the way there and hang out next to the ferrets. So it's just not that adventurous yet. You know, those things live a lot of time, and it took forever for those birds to get adventurous enough to fly all over the house. So I shouldn't have been surprised that they escaped. I feel like an idiot now, but yeah, because I could have kept the door shut with the hook. I never had that hook idea for some stupid reason. Oh man, now I feel bad. I got 2 nice, good, smart, my favorite pets killed. I lost a cockatiel last year too, a couple years ago, when my ferrets climbed up the cage. It was the same exact cage as that cage. I had it up on the top because I had the top open just like that one, because I would put it next to me out here when I was working, and these birds would come inside and hang out with them. And I didn't know the ferrets could climb up the cage, and I left it in the cage, and I forgot it in there in my bedroom for a little bit, and the ferrets climbed up the side and killed it. So, and now they have them for sale at Home Depot, but I mean at Petco, but they're PetSmart, but they're like $300. I didn't know it was that much. I got it at the shelter for like $20, so $30. So, man, yeah. So I'm gonna fix that today, and also the green screen. Yeah, but finish my energy drink, but yeah. So I'm doing my vlog again, and hopefully. Yeah, the idea is to get my vlog going after I get started on my new job too, and talk about, you know, briefly the process of doing the Boulder Rome show and trying to tie everything together. But yeah, maybe later on I could even get a roommate after I get squared away with the maintenance of all my animals and my show and everything. But because I figured that would help me get a roommate. That's the original reason I got all these animals, because I can do that. Because my place looks way better. And it's like active animals in here everywhere. It looks really cool instead of like dead cages, you know, with nothing in them. It's just how I had it before. So, and then they get the animals up too, and even more plants. I got a bunch of plants. $150 worth. Those are like $1 each. But I got a bunch there too. We're gonna see how they do, and I'm keeping the light on all the time and try to pour water down there all the time, but I don't think that they're good enough. But I got that one. The problem is it's $5, but those are the kind of plants that live on the inside. Like that one's been there for like a bunch of years, and those for like 5 years. It's crazy. Those two. They used to have flowers for the first year, and then those ones, that one, and that one, are just great because they're under all that light, like the center of the light. So I'm gonna go water all those today, right now too. That's another thing I was trying to do as I was hanging out here, just like keep water on the plants. And so yeah, so slowly bringing it together, but yeah, I have to sit around and think about like what, you know, maps of like, because I have before and afters like superimposed on my timeline of like what things change in decades. And that'll get me, yeah, primed for ideas for when I do Boulder Run for the 50 days every day. But yeah, there's lots of different ebbs and flows. I could do like maybe the growth of the estuary from silt. There's ones in Turkey and one in that I have. And I have one actually in Kuwait also, and one in Rome at Ostia. So maybe I should do all three of those, and just try to superimpose as much as I can, because there's a bunch I'm gonna have to make up for the period. They do have like some information, but it's for like 400 years or whatever. I'm gonna have to make up a bunch of things that happen every decade, to act it out, and that'll help me with my creativity and everything. So, yeah, so try to figure that out. So, anyways, that's my vlog. That's forever, but it's been forever since I did a vlog. Trying to get it back into it. If I don't get this job, oh my god, it's like, damn. This seems like this is an easy job. I sent all the paperwork though, so yeah, super fired up, super duper excited. Yeah, try to fix that door now. Talk to you tomorrow.